What's up? I just shaved. But you can't tell, because I'm wearing pants. Hi everyone, welcome to Jack's Nation. I'm just going to continue where I left off yesterday with answering the rest of the ridiculous so-called rational questions for anti-social justice warriors. I want to start off by the part I did yesterday was completely unscripted, so is this one. So I kind of answered the questions off the top of my head, and there was one question that kind of stayed with me, and I wanted to come back to that one today and just add a couple of things and sort of, well, give an entirely new answer. Here you go.
Why don't you seem as concerned with actual feminist theory in academia as you are with wrecking people for views?
Well, like I pointed out yesterday, the whole thing about wrecking people is just a form of entertainment. It's for views, that's it. It's for fun. So just take it for what it is. Don't take it so seriously. Take it with a grain of salt and just either enjoy it or ignore it. Not harder than that. And also, you're talking about feminist academia, and I did say yesterday that I would be open to explore the world of feminist academia, but I've realized since then that's kind of pointless. Because I'm not aspiring to have any kind of influence in academia whatsoever. And it also seems that the feminist academia you're referring to is sort of limited to its own realm. It doesn't really influence the mainstream ideas of people, of the everyday kind of feminists you meet online and in real life. And those are the people that I aspire to influence. I look to have some sort of mainstream influential views. That's what I'm looking to. I'm not looking to influence the world of academia. I'm not looking to be a part of a gender studies curriculum. So I guess no. I'm not going to explore the world of feminist academia, at least not until I'm given a reason to.
One of the major arguments that I see in many of your videos is that it is possible to separate criticism of the religion of Islam from the actual Muslim people. And yet, this line seems to be crossed very often. I see things like raghead or camel fucker or other things like that in your comment sections. I see people taking very serious shots at Muslims in videos and hangouts, and they don't get called out. At least not that I can see. So my question is this: why should a person of conscience who is concerned about the Muslim people and their community not being harmed or mistreated, why should they believe that you're actually only attempting to look at the ideas and talk about the ideas if you ignore bigotry that's occurring right in front of you? And in that light, would you be willing to break bread and salt with moderate Muslim people on your videos, have hangouts, invite them to your channels, just in order to build some bridges there and to learn more about what they think and how they feel and what their experience has been, so that information and knowledge can be furthered?
Am I willing to have hangouts and break bread with moderate Muslims? Yeah, sure. If there are any moderate Muslims out there who want to come onto my shitty, pitiful little channel, then feel fucking free. Just give me a shout. Jack's Nation. Do it. I'm not really concerned with childish pejoratives, raghead and camel fucker. I don't really concern myself with shit like that. I've had every bad word thrown at me. Every bad word in the book have been actually flung my way, and you know what I do? I just shrug. Why should I care? Why should Muslims care about childish shit like camel fucker and raghead? Seriously. If you're that thin-skinned, well, that's really on you, not on me.
Do you deny that systemic racism against black people is like a thing in general? If so, what? Okay, just step up, just cover your ears for a second and let the smart people talk. If not, why is it so much more important to you to demonize groups like Black Lives Matter than to actually use your platforms to discuss actual solutions to issues surrounding race and racism?
Well, I have heard the term systemic racism being thrown to the left and right over and over again, but I've never, ever been given a concrete example of what systemic racism actually means. If you could point out one example, just one concrete example, one irrefutable piece of evidence then I would be sold. That's all I need. That's all I fucking need. Is that too much to ask? And also, there is a very simple solution to racial bias or racism. How about we just stop thinking about race? Stop talking about race. This is not my thoughts. This is actually from Morgan Freeman, who put it brilliantly. Let's just stop talking about it. I'm gonna stop looking at you, viewing you as a black man. You can stop viewing me as a white man, or boy, or whatever. That's gonna go quite a long way.
Why is a literal teenager's different definition of racism from you so horrifying that you all have to go, no! No, we have to stop him! We've got to debunk him now! Ah!
Well, if I may say so myself, that is a sexy-ass picture of TJ. Now let me just say this, receding hairline, you are painfully unfunny. Whoever told you that you were funny... Was it your mom? As far as Milo Stewart goes, I've only really seen people go after him in the context of entertainment. Once again, it seems to be really fucking difficult for you people to grasp what entertainment is. Going after someone who holds views as fucking as dumb and narrow-minded as Milo Stewart does, it just makes for good mockery.
You often say that you are for equality of opportunity, but if people of color, for instance, have to overcome barriers whites do not, such as discrimination and unequal treatment, as are well documented in various studies, then how can the current situation be thought of as equal opportunity in any real way? And why do you consider it racist to discuss these issues?
I don't consider it racist to discuss those issues. I don't, so there's that. And also, until we actually stop thinking about race as some sort of divisive factor, we are never going to have 100% equal opportunity. Unfortunately, we need to get over racial biases in order to provide equal opportunity for everyone. But it is my understanding that in the first world, at least, everyone does have the right to an education. I mean, that's basically giving everyone the same start. I may be wrong. Just feel free to correct me. Call me out. If that's bullshit, just call me out.
If you say you're an egalitarian, will you call out the man-hating slurs that you see coming from people within your community? People who use terms like cuck, beta male, faggot, or mangina? All of these things basically distill men down into thinking that the most important thing about them is to be having sex with a woman. That's rather offensive. So what are you doing to stop this kind of behavior in your community?
Nothing. Nothing. I have no interest whatsoever to be some sort of word police. I don't think it's up to me to hold people accountable for shit they say online. If they want to spew shit like faggots and mangina, that's up to them. I really don't care. I don't have an issue with it. And every single one of those slurs, they have been thrown at me. I have been called a faggot and a cuck. And someone has said that, oh, you know, you're getting some sort of bullshit in your mangina. I don't know. I really don't care about it. I seriously don't. Words, what happened to the whole sticks and stones thing? You know that? There's a deeper meaning to that if you actually scrape the surface a little bit.
What has the number of followers, the number of likes, the number of dislikes, the number of retweets, the number of subscribers, any of those numbers, any of those metrics, what have they got to do with the argument? Deepak Chopra, for example, a man who trots out an endless stream of pseudoscientific quantum woo bollocks, has nearly 3 million followers. So what? Those people follow him because he tells them what they want to hear. Why even mention the number of followers you have? What difference does it make?
I have a serious question for you. This is a serious proposition. If I pay you, will you be willing to sit around in my apartment and read my favorite books out loud? Because your voice and your accent are fucking amazing. To address your question, though, I agree. I don't think the number of followers is relevant to the substance of the argument that is being made. I don't know. I don't think so. You can spew bullshit and have 1 million fucking followers. You can be like me, trying to be objective and just put out reasonable thoughts, and I have like, what, 6 followers? It really doesn't matter. And if I ever get that many followers, I will probably not change my mind. The number of followers, however, is somewhat relevant, not to the argument you're making, but it is relevant for getting your voice out there. It's a lot easier to spread your opinions and your views if you have a large audience. And, I mean, obviously, what you're saying is true. You are going to attract like-minded people. I mean, people who disagree 100% with me, with what I say, are probably a little less likely to subscribe to my channel, even though they wish they would. I subscribe to channels I disagree with. For fuck's sake, I follow Feminist Frequency on Twitter. I disagree with their shit 100% of the time. But I kind of want to broaden my horizons. I want to take in as many different views as possible to formulate my own view of the world. That was a long-ass answer, by the way. But think about the book thing. I would start off with God Is Not Great by the great late Christopher Hitchens.
Why is it that you go on and fucking on about safe spaces and trigger warnings and delicate little flowers, but continue to hide behind your cartoon avatars and your childish pseudonyms, and whenever anyone calls you out on your sexist, racist, homophobic, bigoted rhetoric, you become the argument of your own scorn and are hashtag triggered, as they say?
You are actually dumber than you look. In your case, that's quite the accomplishment. Now I'm gonna get to the whole trigger warning and safe space bullshit in just a minute, but do you not realize your own level of hypocrisy and inconsistency right here? In this very video, the one you're partaking in right now, there are 3 people who hide their faces behind avatars. And can you honestly not conceive of the reason why some people choose to hide their face? One of them may be that, putting your opinion out there for the entire world to see, potentially, is intimidating. It could be that easy. But you could also have a much more serious reason for why you would like to keep your identity a secret. Maybe you don't want certain people to find out who you are. Maybe you don't want to put yourself at risk. Seriously, are you going to demonize the people in your own video for also hiding behind avatars? I don't think you will. Because that would make you consistent. And that seems to be too much to ask from you. You, Mike Rowland, whatever, are a fucking moron.
Are you willing to publicly acknowledge and admonish the massive amount of hatred, bullying, harassment, and intimidation that a lot of your fans infringe upon people? And I don't mean these tiny disclaimers that you put under the description fold or flash for 2 seconds at the beginning of the video that you know nobody reads. I mean a public and ongoing anti-bullying stance. Or do you kind of like watching your fans go around harassing people and calling them slurs and telling them to kill themselves? You kind of like it, don't you? I mean, if that's your thing, and I guess that's just what you're into, just makes you a dick.
Well, I don't really have any fans, but if I did, I would not hold myself accountable for their actions. I wouldn't. Truly. I am not about inciting any kind of bullying or harassment or whatever kind of stupid words you want to use to describe the mild insults that people put in comments on your videos.
As a supporter, as a proponent of freedom of speech, why do you want to quash academic freedom? If you're not familiar with the concept of academic freedom, it's worth, in the UK at least, looking up the 1988 Education Reform Act and seeing what that says about the rights of academics to put across unpopular opinions.
I'm going to start off by saying citation needed, because I really have not seen anyone who's made any kind of attempt at quashing academic freedom. Not once. If I take myself, I am a free speech absolutist. I think free speech, freedom of speech, is the most fundamental democratic right, and everybody needs to be able to enjoy it. Everyone. So the whole thing you're saying about unpopular, putting across unpopular opinions, yeah, I agree with that, 100%. I am going to defend everybody's freedom of speech. People I disagree with a burning passion. I will defend their right to say their stupid shit. And think about that book thing, because...
Why are you so obsessed with Anita Sarkeesian?
Well, I am not obsessed with Anita Sarkeesian in any way. I am, however, obsessed with and addicted to calling out bullshit. And it just so happens that Anita Sarkeesian and Feminist Frequency and her, her handler, Jonathan McIntosh, produces quite a mighty heap of bullshit. So I like to get after that. And also the fact that they are going after video games, that just seems it's just ridiculous. It's just stupid. That's one of those pseudo problems we're talking about. It's like, oh, never mind the fact that female genital mutilation is a thing. Never mind that, because that woman in that video game looks good. How dare she? Alright guys, that concludes part 2. I'm probably going to do a few more of these if there's any kind of request for it. So yeah. I would love you unconditionally if you would leave a like on this video and subscribe to my channel. And thank you for visiting the Jax Nation. I'm Jax. See you next time.